This is the Long War. I'm Rob Bear, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Wyatt Turk. What's up, guys?
Yo, Doc, good to be here.
Hey, what's up?
So, Kenny, I called you over the weekend to talk about Titanicus.
It's true.
Forgot to talk about Titanicus
I
with
know.
you, but
He did.
I do want to tell you though that Iconoclast War Master was that was the last model they put out for Titanicus.
That's why I picked it. It's top tier shit.
Now, will somebody pays paid you to paint it? You don't care about that. Nah, it's a good model.
Somebody came to me and said, "Yeah, I want to commission you. I mean, like, is Titanicus off the table?" Because they listen to the podcast.
Damn.
And they hear me
He bought into your BS.
Yeah, and I was like, "What? No, I don't give a fuck." He's like, "Oh, okay, it was all fake." I was like, "Yeah, man, I don't care, dude. Like, they're tight ass models, dude. Like, they're just like making fun of Rob."
My sister, I think I told you this. My sister also said that I should go down and visit you, or that you should come and visit me. And I was like, yeah, I think we're working on it.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna visit Rob. I'd like to visit either this winter. I think it'd be tight. Roll up to NC, old stomping grounds. Hit the crib. Yeah, I didn't even know you had a sister until like 2 years ago. That's how close to the chest Rob plays his personal life.
Nobody knows shit about me. I like it that way.
Yeah, I mean, all the years of all the death threats compiled into a.
I mean, it's almost like I either like it or I have issues. It could be both. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she's actually painting the Warbringer Titan, the full scale one.
Oh wow.
From Forge World.
Oh wow.
By hand with a brush.
Yeah, she's savage.
She is a savage.
Like a savage.
She's like, you don't even want to know how many pots of paint I've already used on this thing.
Straight up cave woman. Like, what the fuck is she doing?
She likes what she likes.
I mean, fair. So, this week we don't have a lot of stuff either to discuss.
There's a decent amount.
I mean, there's some stuff. We wanted to talk about the Muscle Mommy incident.
The Muscle Mommy incidents.
Perhaps.
The great Muscle Mommy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's what's happened to my Instagram feed.
There was an outrage, that's for sure.
Space Marine 2's been out. Wyatt loves it. We're not going to spoil it yet. Don't worry, guys. If you haven't played it.
Who doesn't like it?
No, I mean, so far it looks fantastic. Beyond belief. I've seen all the cutscenes because I had to.
I think they said they sold 2 million copies.
That's fucking wild.
Like, everybody just go buy one.
I was playing yesterday, and at after midnight West Coast time, there was still like 200,000 concurrent users on Steam.
And that's just Steam.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's like Fallout after the Fallout show dropped, dude.
Yeah.
Fallout 76 and Fallout 4 were like an all-time high. Like, it was like the most.
Didn't catch it, but somebody earlier was like, "Do you think that the game is going to have an impact on the 40K tabletop player base?"
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that in the meat potato section.
Yeah. I was like, I want to weigh in on that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We also have a 3D printing conspiracy theory topic that Rob is gonna.
Oh,
dang!
Take us through.
Tinfoil shine on.
That's right. Also, anyone who's watching the show tonight might notice that Rob, his visuals have been altered.
I'm sexy.
He's using like an Instagram filter, so he looks more normal.
That's not true at all.
But let's put it all aside for our award-winning segment. Touch nothing but the lamp.
Would you rather wake up tomorrow and have a fully carpeted bathroom or a fully carpeted kitchen?
I've had both in my life.
I was like, these both sound bad.
I've had both in my life in trailers.
That's why it's funny.
In trailers. And
well, yeah.
They're both awful. They're both awful.
I'm talking like thick carpet. And it's the evil genie, so it's gonna be preposterous. There's gonna be like carpet in the drawers. It's gonna be carpet on the countertops?
I've had both. My first trailer I lived in Colorado had a fucking just everything, bathroom and kitchen. It was a disaster. The spot in front of the bathroom like started dipping, bowing like the floor. And then one day I come around a corner and my roommate James fell through it.
Ugh.
So the bathroom is worse. It just slowly rotted the wood out, dude. And he just is like sitting in a hole with carpet holding him in from falling through to the cinder blocks. Real life.
I feel like we could just like debate the pros and cons to both for like this whole episode because there's so
I mean,
many.
getting pee on the carpet in the bathroom is a problem.
That I mean,
Every time I go into my bathroom, practically, I notice pee drops on the fucking tile and I clean them up.
I don't see how
You know
as
what
a
I mean?
dude you just don't. You just don't.
Like,
I
So, like, I mean, you have to commit yourself to a life of always sitting when you pee, which I'm not saying I don't. So when I pee, I sit when I pee all the fucking time based on timing of the day.
don't know.
But, you know, pee obviously is a problem. That can be remedied by never standing when you pee again. Or exclusively peeing in the shower. I used to do that. In this trailer, I'd get, you know when you wake up with morning wood? And you're like, this is going to be a problem? I would just move the curtain out of the way, just pee against the shower wall.
Like, yeah, that can be a
Let me
problem.
get in the ground, dude. It's gross.
Right? So there's strategies to mitigating urine in the carpet.
I think I think I have a choice here. We'll get into it.
Oh, get into it.
No, you have the floor.
Oh, okay. So I think for me, I would choose kitchen because let's be real, I'm not cooking.
Ha! That's fair. You only
Like I might be washing some dishes, but I can have more control over that than
you put a little
using the
plastic mat
restroom.
down. Yeah.
Think about this
Yeah.
though, Rob. You have cats,
Yeah.
and like I said, this is the evil genie. So like your kitchen, every service that's not the cooktop has carpet on it.
Every surface is not the cook. Wait, the counters?
Oh yeah, so it's fully carpeted, dude.
Ah, that's pretty gross.
You shut the cats out of a bathroom, can't shut them out of the kitchen.
Hmm. You just have to train them not to get up there, but I don't know. I feel like you'd be getting weird. You have to be like vacuuming the counters.
I think I would carpet the bathroom.
You have enough experience.
I've already have enough experience to know I can mitigate a lot of it. And I also know what the worst thing that's going to happen is.
Fall through the floor.
Yeah, fall through the floor.
Eventually, yeah.
Eventually.
I mean, I feel like when you get out of the tub, there's always a little bit of water. And I feel like when you use the bathroom, there's always a little bit of water. And so I guess you're just sitting down to go to the bathroom you're sitting down on the toilet.
No,
forever.
I'm gonna. First off, you can't have like a bathtub with a fucking shower curtain. You gotta have an actual shower. First off.
Oh, like the glass or whatever.
Yeah, an actual shower. Yes. So you need an actual shower. So you need to go spring for that upgrade to your bathroom.
Yeah.
You need to you need to pee in the shower, brush your teeth in the shower, and you admit it. And I think your life will actually get more efficient this way. And you'll take more showers.
Huh.
You're like, I gotta brush my teeth. Oh, not on the carpet countertops. Might as well jump in the shower again. Fuck it, get clean the first thing in the morning. Get in the habit of always taking a shower in the morning, always taking a shower at night before bed. You're gonna be like, you're gonna be way more hygienic.
That's what I do, dude. I brush my teeth in the shower.
Yeah.
Done that since I was in the army.
Like I usually brush my teeth before bed. I don't always take a shower before bed. So
I don't subscribe to the shower before bed theory.
but
I don't know.
now you would. You see what I'm saying? So you'd have
Yeah.
a way more hygienic, structured schedule.
Depends on your
Huh.
job. Like, I mean, Kenny used to work construction and sweat all day. Being in the army, sweat all day. You want to get all gross, sweaty in your clean bed
Oh,
sheets?
100% no. Yeah, I would never go to bed sweaty.
Just yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're coming
But
home,
I'm
like, you're taking a
currently
shower.
not sweaty. I sit down for a living, so.
Hmm.
But I mean, I do need to occasionally use my goddamn kitchen and cook things and chop onions up and fucking spaghetti sauces and things like that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna ruin that kitchen.
Spaghetti sauce.
Yeah, fuck that kitchen up, dude. It's gonna be like it's gonna smell. It's
Exactly.
gonna smell like a fucking hot Chinatown dumpster.
Uh,
Like within a couple of weeks. Is the shower carpeted? I mean, the shower carpeted. Then I'm going back.
No,
I'm going back to the
that's
kitchen.
that's like the cooktop, dude. I mean, like, that's a gimme, right? Like the shower is a shower, cooktop is a cooktop. Because if the cooktop had carpet, you just burn your house down.
Yeah, I have vast personal experience navigating carpeted bathrooms, so I choose.
yeah.
I choose. I pee in the shower now forever, and that's the game.
I almost feel like that's what you got to do because otherwise it's gonna get messy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the toilet's just for show.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Well, we got our. I mean, you can poop in the shower too. I just had it felt like it necessary to mention that just to fulfill my contractual
Thank you.
obligation to always mention poop.
Do you do that at the beginning or the end? Just out of curiosity.
During.
Oh, mid,
Mm-hmm.
mid cleaning.
Yeah, yeah. During.
You're an animal. Some men just want watch the world burn.
All right, Rob, hit us with some news.
Well, there's a decent amount of stuff. If you're on the prowl or got that money burning a hole in your pocket to spend on GW, this week might not be the week for it because there's only a couple of made-to-order releases for Chaos Warriors for the old world. But if you go by a Barnes and Noble store, they have a new smaller Age of Sigmar starter little set for it comes with 25 minis. They're all push fit. It's $34.99. Actually, no, scratch that. You can't get it at in-store. You have to order it online. So you can get the AOS starter, the new Blitzbolt, that one's $49.99. And then the game Haspel was talking about, the Tyranids Attack, Space Marine Adventures. It plays just like the Necron Labyrinth one. That is also at Barnes and Noble, and it's actually $5 cheaper than Target. So you can get it at either Target or Barnes and Noble, but it's $5 cheaper over there. Don't ask me why. But that is technically the new GW releases for this week. Now that's just in the States. I'm not sure if they're available overseas. I haven't looked around, but they did say that might be available at some stores in Germany, but I don't know enough about Germany to know what stores to look up. So there it is. I need to learn more. We're always learning here. So imagine next week, or at least on Sunday, we'll see the teaser because whatever they show on Sunday is actually going to be delivered, I believe, in October now. Yeah, so whatever they show on the 15th will have a street date of October 5th. So it could be time for the Kill Team box, the Hivestorm box, to come out. So be on the lookout for that, or maybe we'll even see Blood Angels Wave 2. But there's still a lot of stuff in Games Workshop's roadmap that we've seen previews for already. So that's there's still a lot of stuff out there, even though it seems like they're really slowing down and spacing out the releases heading into 2025. The P3 Paint Kickstarter went up yesterday. I forgot to check what it was at right now, but as of this morning, I think it was at $500,000. So pretty good showing so far for one day. You can also get the dropper bottles or the normal bottle top, and I think there was 23 different shades they're coming out with. So or 28 unreleased colors. So quite a for a total of what is it 110 paints in that line now. So it's up on Kickstarter right now. You can get the whole set. I think it ends up being less than $300 for the whole set if that's your thing, or you can get some smaller builds of it for about $4 a pot. Just kind of depends on what you're looking for there, but that's up on Kickstarter right now. I talked to Jason on Monument Hobbies. He's got some new products coming out. I know, right? New products from Monument Hobbies. Who knew? But I'm really excited about these. Can't wait to get them in my hot little hands and try them out here soon.
The rattle can.
Why you saying stuff? You're supposed to say stuff, man.
No one's
You
ever
just got.
told. No one's ever made me sign a piece of paper and told me I couldn't talk about them.
I don't talk about stuff that they haven't put out there yet. So I don't know if he has or he hasn't, but
If someone doesn't tell me I can't say it, it's on them.
all right, everybody stop talking to Kenny. He's really bad at the secrets thing. Uh it's really bad at the secrets. No, I don't know. I mean, I
Pretty sure.
don't
I'm
know
pretty
if
sure
it's.
he's told people about it.
Yeah, I'm sure he's told people, but I don't know how public it. I mean, it's not going to make a difference either way. There's no competing products coming out in the time frame. It's just, sometimes other companies like to do little things to mess with other companies around the time they're going to launch products. So that's more of the worry is when a product's going to launch that another company doesn't do like a sale or something, to try to take some wind out of their sales, so to speak. But it's always something to be considerate of, I suppose. But yes, Monument Hobbies has some new products coming out. Be sure to keep an eye over there for official reveals and such, or just ask Kenny because he'll tell you. Mantic revealed new Forces of the Abyss miniatures, which are basically Chaos Demons, but their designs, over the past couple of years, I think I've said it before, have definitely been coming along in quality and composition and things like that. And it's definitely been. Um, these are probably some of the better ones to come out. Um, Still very excited to see the Halo stuff, the actual Halo stuff, not the prototype stuff, but very excited to see some of that and get some of that in my hot little hands
Was it
here this
Flashpoint?
fall. Yeah.
Flashpoint, yeah. Okay.
Um,
Did they release a public statement on when it's shipping? Is that what you're saying?
no, they sure haven't.
That's what I'm because like I'm probably misremembering, but I could swear that like when I talked to them at Adepticon, they were like August is when it was coming out.
I think
And then
it
it's
has
like
slid a bit.
fall. So
Well, they
I don't
did
know.
they did say something about it got pushed back. Or no, that was Modifius with the new Fallout factions. Well, remember a lot of stuff's got to go all the way around the Horn of Africa now because all the shipping getting messed up in the Red Sea there. So I think in a lot of cases things are taking a bit longer to get raw materials, uh, completely finished goods and stuff coming out of China. So it's kind of hard to say, really. Um, but that being said, hopefully we see it, before the holidays, I suppose, because I'm very excited about that. Some new Shadow Point expansions coming out too. That I'm getting a little excited about. Some Empire Strikes Back looking stuff, and pretty hyped to get some of those. Some of the Blood Angel stuff looks. I'm really impressed with this stuff I saw assembled and painted, and not the official GW shots. We've talked about that in the past. Like, doesn't always look the best. Still haven't seen a good Cote as yet, unfortunately, but maybe there's still hope for that guy. I don't know. Um, And a quick update on Paul Sawyer. We talked last week about his diagnosis. It looks like his daughter is doing a GoFundMe for him, just to kind of have a better, kind of quality of life here in the next, 12 to 24 months and do some stuff you wanted to do, etc. And some things that aren't covered, I guess, by the NHS out there. So we put out an article with the link to it, and it's going around social media too. So if you're so inclined and you enjoyed the articles and things, or perhaps you've followed him in his past 17 or so years with Warlord Games, you might want to donate a little coin there to help the guy out. Just a wargaming legend, and really enjoyed a lot of content in the past. Didn't like formally meet him or anything, but seen him around at some of the games days, back at Baltimore many years ago. So from what it looked like, super nice guy, and he definitely left a mark on the hobby. That is for sure there. So that is about all the news. It's definitely getting a little slower out there. Hopefully this fall we'll see a lot more updates and stuff coming out. When did you want to do the conspiracy theory? Oh, I guess we should talk about Kill Team real quick too. So whether they do or not do not tease the Kill Team box that's coming out, they did come out and say what they were doing for the existing teams, and the ones from the 2021 compendium look to be kind of very similar to what they've been doing with a lot of stuff, kind of cycling them into legends after the next year, and then they're going to have seasons where the rest of the teams will get 2 years in competitive play, and then they're going to get rotated out. But a lot of the models themselves may still stay in the ranges, so you still be able to pick up those kits for use in 40K, etc. They just might not be playable in Kill Team as a competitive faction, etc. So some good news, bad news, but overall just kind of news, I guess, when it comes to, hey, there's a new GW release. Oh, all this stuff is going away, but is it really going away? Because you can still play with it when you go up to the game store, play with your buddies. Who cares, you know? So there's that.
Yeah. So talk about your 3D printing conspiracy. That seems kind of true.
I I don't know whether you're trolling me or actually agreeing with me, but either way, I will talk about it. So I think I've noticed over the past 4 to 6 months of Games Workshop releases is that they don't put the sprues when stuff goes up on pre-order. You very rarely have them been putting in the sprues, and sometimes they just only put in one sprue or
Yeah,
they
like the
forget
sprue
sprues, etc.
photos and the 360 spinneroo have been slowly not going up. And
Right.
I noticed specifically because I usually I look at those a lot when I'm doing a build for like a commission or for a big project.
Hmm.
That's a resource I've been using for 10 years. Is the
And the
spinneroo and the sprue shots. Like
Yes, the spinneroo even has changed a lot over the years. And once they went to the new site, they actually weren't last November. They actually weren't like day one there. And I thought, oh crap, they're taking these out. This
that's
is
yeah.
it. But some of them have, ported over. But the problem now is that if you try to like save, like right click save the image that you spin it, you get it to that good spot, and if you try to right click save it, it defaults to like the top down. So
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to literally screen cap
Screenshot. Yeah,
it.
the screen cap.
Um, so there's kind of that, but so I noticed that those hadn't been getting published as much, and I was like, I wonder what the deal is with that. And part of me was just like, it's just GW, maybe the whoever they got doing it just forgot, whatever. And then I was like, wait a minute. And I thought about the preview, and I was like, how big is GW's head that they didn't even show us any images for New Deathcore or the Elder Aspect Warriors that we know they got. We know they haven't designed. They've had them designed for years. They didn't show us nothing, and they didn't even mention Imperial Knights until the article came out. Like they didn't show us nothing. They literally like, here's a preview. I'm just gonna talk. Like fuck you, respectfully. Um, and I started thinking about it. I was like, wait a minute. What if they did that? Because by the time these models come out in January or February, if they showed even snippets of it now, these talented folks out there with that have been grinding at 3D designing for 4 years, 5 years, or even longer for some of these folks would already have it digitally done up and ready to go and downloadable either on the Black Seas or through something else that was just different enough that they could put it out there in a consumable format. I mean, we saw Cote's from the cover art available like basically day one after
Yeah.
they
I mean,
revealed
going
it.
back to like as mentioned before, the original Primaris release, that
Yep,
was a bit of a 3D printing disaster for them. Like, now I'm not saying it affected their bottom line. We have proof.
it definitely didn't
We have proof in
back
their
then.
financial report that it did not. It has not. 3D printing has never is objectively, provably not affected them at all. But it is a bit of a stain for a company that is historically somewhat obsessed with control over their IP. I'm not saying that's unjustified, but they've been historically obsessed with control over the distribution of their product, which in some ways, some places is totally unjustified and preposterous and hurtful to the so they've been destructively obsessed in some cases, and that we can cite examples to if we wanted to, but we don't have to. So I would say for a company that has a track record of being that obsessed, you launch your new Primera shit, and then you got all your sick box deals, that were pretty decent deals, and then you're like, okay, and then we're gonna like put the sprues out later. Well, the time that it took between boxes and individual box purchases, every human on Earth already had all those specialty units 3D printed.
Yep.
And it didn't really affect them because people still went out and bought them and everything. But what a hurtful thing to occur for someone who's, obsessed with, I must be in control of this at all times. So somebody likely, took the blame for that, because that's typically how vertically scaled corporations work, And
It's funny. I remember, what were they called? The Outriders, Primaris Outriders.
yeah,
When they announced those
bikes?
for the very first time in the article, they released this like concept art. And the concept art was like literally 2D blueprints that
yes,
showed like
literally
top, side, front, back.
2D
And
blueprint.
within like one fucking day on all the 3D printing discords, it was like these fucking idiots gave us the blueprints and I could like literally get out digital calipers and I 1-to-1'd it in a day.
In a day. So somebody took the fall for that, a vertically scaled corporation like that. And it's probably still a bit traumatic, depending on, who's talking to who, what department head is talking to who, who's on top of who. And it's probably like a holdover at this point. It's not affecting them. We have proof of that, paperwork. But somebody is likely, at least casually committed to some set of protocol, Rob, some directive that was handed down to control the 3D printing market. And it's a very half-hearted attempt, but it does absolutely read as an attempt. Like somebody's doing like the minimum amount of stuff to meet some nonsensical directive dating back to that time period. That's the conspiracy theory that I have on it, is like the why of it. You know what I mean? But it seems hard to debate that they like your evidence. Like, why would they put out this preview with no models? Why have they been kind of slow rolling those types of images? Why would they be removing the 3D spinneroonies? Why would they be getting rid of the sprue shots? Seems like it's a 3D printing thing. That's like I feel like you're dead on with that.
I think a lot of it just kind of lines up and conveniently relates to each other. It may or may not be true, of course, but I had to think about it for a second. I was like, well, that actually makes sense, huh? I wonder if that is the case, because we know they have the shots, we know they have the sprues, we know they have all the stuff. It's like, why? It's either that or just incredibly asleep at the wheel and unorganized, and their heads are that big that they just sort of thought that they could just be like, hey, there's this new stuff coming and we're still all gonna buy it. I don't know, but I like to think it's the former, not the latter.
the noticeable removal of many 3D spinneroonies.
Yeah,
I think is the linchpin to your deduction here. Like, why?
Yeah, dude.
That's because that was, like I said, that was a straight modeling resource I've been using for a decade, man, or 14, 15 years.
it's definitely helpful. I mean, I liked using them and stuff, but if they think
Because
that,
there's always some weird thing you can't quite make out, and then like you look at the
Yep.
box art, you can't see it. You go look at the spinneroonie, you're like, oh, that's a fucking grenade with like a skull pin and a fucking tassel over it. Oh, I get it now, bro. Yeah, so I don't think I don't really think it's far off the mark, Rob. I just think it's the motivation behind it is what's weird. That's why it's hard to deduce. And how many times we said on this podcast, like GW's motives are unknowable.
they're unknown, and they whatever they're doing definitely still seems
It
to be
defies
working,
reason, and it's hardly worth speculating on. While we do commonly speculate on it,
Yes.
because it is, I'm reminded of the app. Like only now do we have a serviceable army builder app from them. And
Which
data
we
sheets and
wanted for
everything.
4 years.
But why don't we have digital release codex only? Why don't we have a la carte data sheet purchase? Why don't we have all these things that objectively are superior, money making, 1,000% profit? Like, why? It's baffling beyond belief. It's unknowable motivation.
I feel like if we thought about it for a second, it's really like more benign we could think of, and kind of goes back to what we were some of the stuff we were talking about in the pre-show, comparing like guys like you and I and Rob who've been doing this for 20 years compared to somebody who like just joined, like just started their hobby journey. Like for every one of us, there's like 1,000 of them, and that 1,000, they like buying books. They like it. It's just a thing. They enjoy it. They don't care about the FAQs. They don't care about, tournament regulations or any of that shit. They like their books. They play Warhammer every once in a while, paint their figures, having a good old time.
This is where you're wrong, though. Like, this is the baffling part. You could do both. They own a printing house. Make the collectible books. Make the books. Don't change the thing about the books. Also,
I think it just has to do with
they already programmed the app.
Yeah.
They already fucking programmed it. Like, it's there. All that shit's there already, bro. You know how much? It's infinite money scaling, dude. Like, that's what I don't understand about it. It's infinite money scaling. Like, if you just did, like, it's the Steve Jobs model, man. Steve Jobs already invented this shit. He was like, motherfuckers pirated.
I don't disagree with you, Kenny. I think that's the reason.
Like,
I think the second part of that reason is that they've never done anything like that before.
they did it with the AOS app.
What
It was free.
Like,
you could a la carte purchase army or not army, Age of Sigmar stuff in the app.
In the app, yeah, you'd have to get the battle plan. That was 2 times ago. The last
Really,
last
my
one
last
was free.
and they had e-reader codexes already. They already did
I know
it.
they did that.
Yeah.
I know they did that.
It's
You
just
can still get the digital versions for lots of stuff that isn't 40K for the rules.
it's just like
Who knows, man?
infinite money scaling, bro. Like, it's an infinite money glitch that they refuse to take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
Baffling beyond belief.
Maybe they're afraid that people will stop buying books altogether.
I don't think that's the case because they have a lot of people are just buying it for the code.
That's the only reason I could think of.
No, yeah,
I mean,
it's baffling. We know it's not true. That's the thing. Everything we're saying, this is why it's an exercise in nonsense. We know everything is not true. Not like whatever motivation they have, we can prove how it's not true.
Think about this. I just remember we did an editorial on this. The only thing you got to really buy in most cases, because everybody's got models, or you can print some stuff out that's kind of similar to what the new primary scale, whatever the F is the book. You need the book. You got to always buy the book to get the code if you're using the app, right?
Mm-hmm.
So legitimately, and this is I've heard this from a lot of stores and a lot of distributors. The books are the things that are selling over the miniatures, like the new one-off miniature for the faction or whatever.
Absolutely.
Like for the Custodes, that shield captain did not do well.
Absolutely. And that fuels my point.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yes, it makes sense. Very surface level makes sense. Well, they're only buying the books, so we gotta lock the app stuff behind the book code. Right. No doubt, I feel you, but you could 90%. Half of these people are still gonna fucking buy the book because I don't buy any books and I still get the codex. You know what I'm saying? Like, so all the other hobos are just gonna start feeding your app money, and you're still gonna sell books. Nothing's gonna change. The most popular purchase remains the most popular purchase. One of them requires you to like publish a book physically, print it, ship it, put it in boxes, send it across the ocean. And one of them is just like, oh, free money's just rolling in, dogs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, preposterous. Anyway, sorry. That's
I think it's interesting that you say that because I don't think they've done the Netflix thing where I'm pretty sure you can share logins.
Oh yeah.
To
yeah.
So
yeah.
100% right. Like, I'm the problem. It's me. Like, I am GW's
I'm the drama.
worst nightmare because I have a Warhammer Plus account and there is no login protection. There is no like
so
device
anybody
check.
Anywhere with your password and such.
Yeah, I have we have a team account.
Everything's in it. Everyone's logged in at the same time.
Why are they?
Yes.
Why do they always?
So
Uh,
furthermore,
Because
they're
Games
not even
Workshop doesn't know what they're fucking
they're
doing
not
when it comes to
protecting it.
app design, dude.
Yeah. See, like
Yikes!
Like, this is just another thing. Like, dude, it's like I would not be surprised in the least if like somebody who knows a lot about this sort of thing, like app design and security and that sort of thing, like if they could break this open and analyze it, it would not surprise me in the least if this was like the least well protected app that it could possibly be, right? Like everybody's like financial info accessible, like that kind of thing. It wouldn't surprise
Oh
me
man.
if it were really easy to break open, right? I mean, like we were talking about not too long ago, where like anything that you put in the name your list character box when you build lists, it does not have a character limit. And when you export, it exports all of it every single time. And so it's like people tested it and they're like, well, it doesn't, like you can't write code in there, it doesn't do anything. But if you wanted to copy paste the entire King James Bible into your fucking list title, it'll
It's like
do
you.
it and
It's
it'll
like you
export
know
it.
this.
I mean, yeah, I copy pasted the entire Ultramarines Wikipedia page
Yeah. So
into my list and
all your
exported it
rules
to
are there.
BCP. Yeah,
That's so funny. I
Preposterous.
love it.
So let's do a commercial break real quick, and then we'll come back
Mhm.
and circle back to some of our other topics. So, what are our two other topics? Space Marine 2 and
Space Marine 2.
Muscle Mommies. So, Wyatt, how you feeling about Space Marine 2?
man, it's as close to the perfect Warhammer game as you can get in terms of a boots on the ground experience, right? So like we've had a bunch of different types of Warhammer games, right? So if you want like a strategy aspect, like Grand General, we have or had Dawn of War, we have Total War Warhammer Fantasy,
Yeah, the
right?
RTS genre.
So I mean, like we're kind of due for a new one of those, but you know, this is a AAA title, action game. You're the Space Marine. You're in the middle of the action. Like it's third person. You get to see all the dope animations. Um, so in terms of that, building off of what they did in Space Marine One, it's a different developer, but you know the framework is there. The ideas were fleshed out. Uh, it's pretty dang close to perfect. It's not perfect. There's some issues, but they're so small that um, I think anybody who's a fan of 40K can just like get on that roller coaster and have a great time. Um, the story is fantastic. Like whoever designed this, or I don't know for sure if it's Saber or Focus. Like I'm confused on like who's the dev and who's the publisher on that. Somebody can correct me, but man,
Mm.
they understood the assignment, and like the world is fleshed out to the nines. It's amazing. Like um when you play the game, like the first playthrough, we're just like we just stand around and just look at all the stuff, right? Down to the smallest things like an open book on a desk or a propaganda poster on a wall that has like you can walk up to it,
The
scope
graphic
down your rifle
design
and read the words,
in the
right?
world. I love it when I
Oh
love
yeah.
that. Like the
Mhm.
fake graphic designers inside the fake worlds who made the ads of that
Oh
world.
yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
I love
Like
that. I love it when they
there's
go
like
that hard.
Imperial Guard propaganda posters like plastered all over walls, and you can zoom in and like read the fine text, and it's super funny. Um, the set pieces where you're like, oh, you guys are like, you have to defend this bridge. Like the guard are holding the bridge, but you guys got to go do this surgical strike, and like you look out off of this like parapet on another part of the hive, and you can see this like bridge that's like it's a bridge slash staircase that's like big enough for a titan to walk up is how big this thing is, and it's like literally just a carpet of tyranids running up it at the guard positions, right? Like they have all the vehicles, they're insanely well detailed, right? Like seeing a chimera kick it into high gear and like run over a Tyranid Prime is fantastic. It's awesome. Like
And
the
satisfying.
Space Marine vehicles, like you know, they show off the repulsor, and you're like, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen. Redemptor Dreadnought, you finally get to see one of those well animated and just like doing what Redemptor Dreadnoughts do, and it's awesome.
Lap the dick off of anything and everything.
Yeah, dude. Like literally, there's some stuff that they do, but I'm not gonna say what it is because it's like kind of spoilers for the game. So you want to experience that for yourself. But like literally just like eyes bugging out, hype, seeing some of that stuff. The gameplay is great. The It's a little bit different than Space Marine 1, so like it's not a pure shooter. So a lot of people are, oh, it's like Gears of War because it's third person, right? But like Gears of War is a very distinct, like you shoulder check into cover, you like shoot
Pop
over
and
the
shot.
cover. Right, that's Gears of War, not this game.
Oh.
You are a walking tank, you are a space marine, there is no
That
cover.
was actually interesting because that's
Um
actually like in the first Space Marine, there was a pop and shot mechanic like Gears of War. And it's funny because if you tried to play it like Gears of War, you got wrecked. Because if you
you're
played it
gonna get
like
wrecked.
basically if you played it like a bitch, you got punked like a bitch.
Right.
Like you're
So
you're the startest, son.
there's some of that in this
You're
game.
like,
Some people have complained a little bit that like you feel a little too like squishy as to be a space marine, like because you have an armor bar and you have a health bar, and it's like playing the Master Chief in Halo. You have
yeah,
a shield and you have your HP. When your shield depletes, you start taking HP damage, right? So in Space Marine, you get your armor back by doing like flourishes and
yeah,
executes.
execution. Yeah.
So it's a lot like Doom 2016 or like Doom Eternal, where
And,
like
I mean,
you do enough damage,
I think that
they
mechanic
flash red, and you kill
was
them.
in Space Marine 1. Like,
Yeah, similar to that. Like you
yeah,
could, if you take health damage, it's like a gray bar, and if you
Hmm.
do damage within a close enough time frame to that, it regains a little bit. So you're incentivized to be the aggressor, like learn your timings, learn your attacks. Like there's like attacks where it's like it gives you a visual indicator, like I need to dodge this, get out of the way. And if you do that perfectly, you get to like pull out your pistol and do like a gun flourish and shoot them in the face. Like pretty cool. There's a parry mechanic, so you get a visual indicator, and if you block that with your weapon at the right time, you like parry the attack, and again you can do like a gun flourish, or it'll put them into the execute state where you can just like do a big thing. Um, and the lore plays into the gameplay, which is really cool. So it's like if there's a carpet of gaunts around a warrior, and you go up to that warrior and you punk him and you execute him, his like psychic shriek just like kills all the gaunts around him. So like that's how you get rid of tons and tons of gaunts without wasting all of your ammo or trying to chew through them with your chainsword one at a time.
Mm, smart.
love it.
The class system is really cool. So in Space Marine 1, it has been a while, but you only really got to play as different stuff like in multiplayer, and it was like you're all kind of the same dude, but like maybe
Yeah.
you have a jump
Well,
pack. Or like
throughout the game, you got to use all these pieces of equipment, but in
right.
PvP, you had to like lock in. Like you were like a tactical marine, you were a assault marine. Like you had like all these classes.
Yeah, so that's back. With the
Devastator.
addition of a PvE mode or like player versus environment mode called operations, where like you and two friends or two randoms will go through like a semi-scripted random element mission. That's really
Mm,
cool, and they tie into the larger story in the campaign, because like you have the main characters, and then there's like the B team or like the other squad, and you're like, well, we're gonna go do this, which is where like the plot happens, but we need you guys to go over and do this, and that's gonna help us out. And so the operations are like that squad's adventures,
That's cool.
and you get replay value out of that by like getting new weapons, getting new skins, and leveling up the class that you choose. Um, and those all have special abilities that are really cool. Like the tactical marine is back. It's all Primaris stuff. So you have like a Blade Guard veteran, you have a jump pack intercessor, you have a like a reaver slash infiltrator guy, you have the eliminator sniper, and you have a like eradicator heavy guy with different weapon options. They all have special abilities.
Sounds amazing.
yep. I wish I had more time.
Sounds fucking fantastic.
I had enough
Yeah.
time to watch the jump cut scene.
I watched
So.
every cutscene.
I'll tell you, like if you're on the fence about buying it, it's definitely worth your money. It's not a 100 hour Witcher 3 story experience. It is an it's an action game rather than an adventure game. So it's like a roller coaster that you get on, and it's a solid
Hmm.
like 10-12 hours if you take your time and you enjoy it. And then you have the replay value of like the team deathmatch modes, and you have the operation modes. And more content is coming down the pipe. It just came out, so
Yeah, there's a whole roadmap for like a whole bunch of stuff coming out.
a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, highly recommend. And maybe in a few weeks we can talk more about the story aspect, but I'll tell you, like it is some of the most like hype, wish fulfillment, exciting kind of set pieces in Warhammer media that I've ever experienced, and I can't recommend it enough.
So let's talk about this muscle mommy.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
old news now because it came out just last week, right? Like,
yeah, I guess the
Mhm.
episode had come out that Wednesday.
so last podcast recorded it had just dropped. So you guys both watch it?
Yeah, the
I,
Tithes episode 2.
yep. It
Very
was,
cool.
Did they ruin my childhood by introducing a female custodian?
I mean, you don't
Uh
even, I guess if it
no.
wasn't for the beginning, you really wouldn't even known.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole thing is it's like it's the character is not her gender, right? It's she's a custodian, and like in the within
Hmm.
the bounds of the story they're telling, like she's doing her job as a custodian. Um, there's some other cool aspects, like you get to see a Sister of Silence for the first time in some media doing their thing.
Oh,
It's
sick.
Yep.
actually it's really funny because like only the custodian knows the sign language that the Sister of Silence
The
uses.
hand speak.
It's so funny, like it's so like it's very subtle humor. It's not like played, there's no like drum roll riff or anything, but it's like they get to this planet and they're met by some Astartes, and they're like, oh, you're like custodian, welcome, and like, who is this? And she's like signing, and they let her go through like her whole thing, and you can see the subtitles what she says, and the Astartes are just deadpan like, I don't know what any of that stuff means. And then the custodian has to talk for her, and sometimes the Sister of Silence will use that to her advantage to just like say whatever she wants. And so like they meet these people that are guarding a bunch of psychers. That's the tithe that they're there to get,
The
right? That's
Emperor's
the
Tithe.
theme. Yeah. And she's like, oh, the custodians are here, like you come to save us, is everything going to be all right? And she's signing, and she's like, no, you're all going to die, this the
Yeah.
planet's doomed. And then the custodian just looks up and she's like, yes, everything's going to be fine.
So is everything fine?
No.
No. No. Like they're literally, so like part of the other thing is that there's tension between the Astartes and
Yeah.
the custodian, because this planet falls under this chapter's protectorate. Like they swore
The
an
White
oath
Templars.
thousands of years ago that like we're going to protect this planet, it's part of our protectorate, right? I think they also say that they draw like recruits from that world. I can't exactly remember. um
I forget too.
but the custodian is like, all right, we got what we came for. Like, everybody fuck off. We're gonna exterminate us. This planet. It's lost to us. Like the Tyranids have it. There's no fighting it back. Like they're like, but we swore to protect this. And she's like, well, you guys are needed in like this bigger war. Like, I'm telling you, I'm the voice of the Emperor in this matter. Like, we're doing this. And they're like, we will not. And she's like, all right, well, we're about to actually like do this. And they kind of have like a stare down. And I was like, oh shit, is this custodian just gonna like murk some Astartes like in that short story? And finally they're just like, fine, you're right, okay. And she says something to the matter of like, you know, the Sister of Silence is like, did you, that was kind of harsh, did you like, you really have to do that? And the custodian is like, the pride of Astartes like burned the galaxy once, I'm not gonna
Yep.
have it again.
Ooh,
Got
sick.
him.
Got him. That's a sick line. Fuck yeah.
Yep. Well,
So does she die?
No,
no.
she like lays a smackdown.
The Tyranids look dope. Like
The
the way,
Tyranids, the animations were amazing.
hmm and the way, the way the custodian moved, and even the Sister of Silence, like when the one psyker freaked out, she just like walked through the psychic maelstrom and was just like, go to sleep.
Yeah, she's like, stop it.
Yeah,
It's silly right now.
I'm gonna tickle you.
Night
I do
night.
gotta say too, like one of the coolest things was so there was some Adeptus Arbites or Arbites or
Oh,
whatever.
those guys were dope with their shotties.
Bro,
Yeah.
those dude, I gotta shout out to them. Like they for like normal ass dudes, right? They were like, oh, we got a lictor, let's deal with this. Like, and they just turned around at no fear, stood their ground, laid the smackdown on some nids, and like kept doing their job. Like those guys were cool.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Fuck. It sounds amazing.
The first episode was really cool too. It brings back that salamander character. I forget his name. But there was that Pariah Nexus short series that the salamander character, the sister battle character, where they're on that planet that's kind of like they've kind of lost the fight to
Oh,
the Necrons
right. Yeah.
already. And so it's like him trying to get her and like a small group of civilians like out of this war zone because like they're pulling off of the planet. And so this episode of that episode of the Tides kind of picks up a little bit after that left off, where you have the salamander and an ultramarines apothecary kind of like going through this combat zone searching for fallen brothers. And they're like, we got to find our guys, we got to get the gene seed, we got to get the fuck out of here. And it's pretty cool because you get to see the like kind of philosophical differences between a chapter like the salamanders and a chapter like the ultramarines, because this guy is like your prototypical ultramarine, like, well, the codex says that like this, and like you're talking about shirking your duties to protect these civilians, like they don't matter in this greater war that we're fighting. Like that sounds like derision and heresy. And he's like, whoa, dude, like calm down, like I'm not saying that. And they kind of have this like back and forth. And it's also
Mhm.
cool to see that at the end of the day, they're just like, you know what? Like, I was a little harsh in my words. Like, you're my like battle brother cousin. Like, let's get our job done. And the salamander's like, yeah, dude, I was a little off base there. Like, don't worry about it. Um, and like, so that one
Power of
was really,
friendship.
yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of cool. Um, the next one is going to be what, Rob? Imperial Guard and Astra. What is
The
the
Imperial
Navy?
Navy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Imperial
It,
Navy.
The
it
Imperial
looked like
fleet.
there
Guard.
was a Thunderbolt fighter and some
Yeah,
orc pilots, and they
yeah.
look good. It looked good. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't.
it sounds like a hype ass time right now for 40K content.
Dude,
That
it's,
that's
These.
where all the that's I mean, sure we don't have the releases, but like they're giving us fire ass content.
I mean,
Like, realistically, Rob, we've been waiting our whole life for this kind of shit.
yeah, and I mean, it's dope to see. I'm not gonna pay for it. I'm just not, because they're not bringing the value to the table for me. But I'll find it somewhere. It's out there.
yeah. I mean, and to go back to a question that was asked in the pre-show, because we have brought it up a few times in the lead up to the release of this game and some of the new visual media coming out, is how do you think this game release is going to affect growth in the 40K hobby player base?
Yeah.
And I mean, my answer to that is that every time we've had something like this, it has gotten a big boost.
Yeah.
Like I won't say, like, I guess generation is an okay word. Like there's entire generations of 40K players that are 40K players because of stuff like Dawn of War, Dawn of War 2, like Total
Mhm.
War, some of the other games, right? It's like, what got you into 40K? Like I played this Dawn of War game and I thought it was really cool, and then I learned about the hobby.
Yep.
This
I
being
got rated the other day by a streamer, like 200 people, playing Space Marine.
oh, tight. So he was like, let's go check out
Mhm.
what the hobby is about. She good for her.
Yeah, and
That's cool.
and I asked her too. I was like, how many people? Personal question, like how many people in your chat like play the hobby? She's like, well, most of them like know of Warhammer, but like that's it. It's kind of where it ended. So I was like, that's interesting. So like, it's enough of a brand now. People are aware of it, right? And then
Yeah.
and that comes up a lot now when people ask me what I do and stuff. I typically gloss over and I'm just like, oh, I'm an art instructor. But then when it comes out, they're like, oh, you pay models? Like what? I was like, Warhammer. Like, oh, I heard about I know Warhammer.
I know
Like,
Warhammer.
people
It's mainstream now.
people know of Warhammer now. So more things like this that draw people
Yep.
in to like the absolute
Mhm.
hype factor, And then so I have all these people in my stream who've never seen me stream before, watching me paint orcs and stuff. You know, it's like a whole
Yeah.
new. They're like, holy fuck, what's
Think
going
about
on?
it, that is like
That's
that's kind of
exactly
wild to be the
yeah.
first. You're the first hobby face they see.
Mhm.
Which is kind of strange.
Yeah, like they're like, who the fuck are you? I've never seen you before. What the fuck are you painting? This is crazy. Like
Um,
somebody was like, are you just like a painter, or do you like also play the game? I was like, real talk, fuck painting, I hate
so so just to put it into perspective, for how big of a release and the success this game is so far, there was articles on Forbes about that they sold 2 million copies and it was the fastest
Okay, so
selling IP. There was, but not just Forbes, Sports Illustrated
wow,
even.
Sports Illustrated. I mean, like they've been doing some gaming articles from time to time.
Well, sure, everybody is now.
So let's do some quick like hypotheticals here, Rob. Like let's do our hypotheticals and our practicals, like good ultramarines. Um, let's just say for the sake of argument, 2 million is what they sold. Like let's just cut it off there, right? They sold 2 million. What's like a quarter? No, let's do even less. Let's say a tenth of 2 million. What is that? 200,000 people? Is that right?
A tenth of 200 of 2 million.
it. Said
Yeah.
2 million copies.
Yeah, 2 million copies. What's it like? 1 in 10 people, a tenth of 2 million. Is it 200,000?
Like 10%, 200,000.
Yeah. So let's just say that like of 2 million people, let's just say like 1 in 10 people get into Warhammer hobbying to the point of playing the game, right? Like
Mhm.
a lot of people might just be like, oh, this is really cool. I want to get like one model to put on my desk. But
Mhm.
that's a model they buy, build, and paint, right? So that's getting into the hobby. Let's just say 1 in 10 people start playing the game. Like they get that invested into it.
Well, then
That's
that's 40,000.
no, it's like 1 in 10 of 2 million copies sold, right?
Oh, I thought you were
That's what I'm
making
saying.
two.
I
So
mean,
it
I
would be
mean, I mean,
20,000,
you can
but
go with like a more standard internet statistic, which is 2 to 3%. If
that's true.
uh,
Of 2 million, yeah.
so we'll give it like a solid 3%. So that's still 60,000 people.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's just say that, right? It could be more, it could be less.
So like
60,000.
So 60,000
So-
people who will spend money on entering the hobby. It's like
Yeah,
And
let's
then,
just say
like-
that let's just say that 1 in 10 buy one model, paint it. 60,000 people get to the point where they play the game. They get an army together, they start playing the game.
yeah, like they can
Mhm.
actually be counted on
That
to
is
invest in it.
That is a huge.
If you add 60,000
number of
people
people.
to our hobby, like our army has grown. Like our fucking community
Mhm.
has, like, that's a big number to just
that's
toss
a
in the
really
beginning.
big number.
Like 60K new players.
That's
it's
massive. I think it's
preposterous.
going to be more. I'm a little optimistic on that point. I'm going to go with I think it's going to sell more than 2 million copies, right? Because there's always the people who are like jump on it immediately, and there's the group of people who wait for reviews and they wait for bug fixes and stuff like that. I think it could double, right? Let's just like hypothetically say that it does double the number of sales to like 4 million copies. I would say that about 100,000 or so, maybe even two, get into the hobby in a meaningful way. And that's going to be like a quantum shift in the number of people that are actively in the hobby, playing the game. And not just that, there's going to be a massive amount of people who recognize the idea of what Warhammer is. Oh, it's that sci-fi game with like Space Marines and shit.
Mm.
But they know nothing else. But they play this
Yeah.
game, and then they're like, Warhammer is really fucking cool. I want to figure all this out. I want to learn all about it. I want to read like some wikis. I want to read some books. I want to be part of the conversation. That's a way big number of people that are going to get into it.
Yeah, as of 17 hours ago, it surpassed 2 million sales.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just
I mean,
up.
like on a Tuesday night after midnight Pacific time, there was 200,000 concurrent players on Steam.
So
It's huge.
yeah, so like I said, in normal, you can expect 2 to 3% of one market to be monetized onto something else, and so that number, as their sales continue to grows. So at our low ball estimate, the 60,000 new entries into the hobby, and that number continues to tick up with each new sale, right? Each new sale, like, here we go, and by the first Christmas sale, you're gonna get another big spike. You know what I'm saying? Like when they goes on sale or whatever. You know, like it's just gonna keep going up.
Yeah, or when it hits when
There's
they
I
gonna
mean,
be, I mean, like we got that episode on Amazon
yep
of in that
in December.
compilation show, like people who may not be as plugged into the like hype new releases of video games, but play video games, might see that and be like, "Oh, I should check out this Space Marine game that this episode.
Hmm.
Like that was a really cool cartoon. Let me check out this game." That's gonna get a bunch of people in too.
mhm, stop. Yeah, so I love it when this shit happens because, like you see, like
Hmm.
I saw 200 people came over to my show from this, and you know, about four of them became incredibly active chatters and were incredibly inquisitive, asking all sorts of questions. You know, so
Oh,
like
Very
that's
cool.
how we continuously expose people to the hobby, which is also like a side topic for another night. Is the
Hmm.
importance of positivity and inclusion and diversity in this hobby, because when people's first exposure to this hobby is one of the bad ones.
yeah, and unfortunately, I've already like seen some of that.
Yeah.
With the Space Marine 2. I mean, because like, you know, you play a game and you like there's like hidden stuff you can collect in the game. And I'm like, oh, I can't find this one thing. Let me look it up, right? So you go various websites or like Reddit to see if other people have found it, say where it is. And just like immediately seeing like pretty like high upvoted posts on like, oh, this community is being like really toxic about certain things. I don't know if I want to be a part of this.
Mm.
It's like kind of disheartening to see.
Yep. So it's unfortunate if they go to Reddit, they're gonna that likelihood of them getting one of the bad ones goes up to
I
the roof.
mean, I'd say that like from what I've seen, the Steam forum is actually far
Steam
worse.
is bad. You're right.
I don't think Steam like has forum moderators. It's
No,
like
it's the Wild
wild how
West, dude.
bad it
It's
is.
wild out there. It's wild. The shit they say out there. No,
That's
but
not
luckily
good.
it's a video game being played on Twitch, and so we're gonna have hopefully more and more of this. And now I'm gonna go out of my way to find these people too. Like I'm gonna go out of my way to find these streamers because like I want to be the ambassador for these fools. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to chance it to some hobo out there, fucking. I hate this and I hate everything and this is stupid and fucking. You know what I mean? Get out of here. Like it's fucking. Let's have fun, dude.
Yeah. Space Marine 2 is so much fun, and I think we're on an upward trajectory of like the game space getting better all the time. The As much as we kind of piss and moan about Games Workshop, like they have been incrementally getting better and better about being good to the player base as far as like rules updates, balance updates, like that kind of stuff, like communicating, monitoring the competitive scene to see what's going on. They've been getting better and better with like content they've been putting out. I mean, like they falter and stumble time to time, but I mean, like we're getting there. It's happening.
Facts. All right. Well, let's wrap it up there then. Good show. Great topics. We've got possibly future topics based on this topic, which are always exciting.
Hmm.
Rob, I'm just gonna kick it straight to you.
Thank you.
Don't fumble this. Take us out of here.
I never made any mistakes ever, especially on the show in the intro or outro. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Make sure to head on over to thelongwar.net for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today.